It's 6:06 on Tuesday, 7/16/2024, and I hereby call this regular scheduled meeting of the City Council to order. Could you please bow your heads for invocation by Councilman Clark?
Heavenly Father, thank you for allowing us to gather together and discuss the future of Diamond Head. We pray that everyone, when they leave and they come in Diamond Head and even on I-10, and the kids that are starting school soon and everyone going to work, they're careful on I-10 and we have less wrecks and hopefully none, but you never know. We thank you for the knowledge to be able to decide what is going to be best for the Diamond Head and for all our residents. And we just pray that you just keep our heads straight. Amen.
Amen. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
City Clerk?
Mayor Jeffrey.
Here.
Councilmember Finley.
Here.
Councilmember Lisi.
Here.
Councilmember Cumberland.
Here.
Councilmember Clark.
Here.
Councilmember Moore.
Here.
Could I get a motion to confirm the agenda?
Move.
Motion made by Councilman Finley. Could I get a second?
Can I get item number 10 taken off the agenda, as there needs to be a change order first before that could be approved?
Okay. I'm going to move to amend the agenda to remove under consent agenda item 10. Could I get a second?
Second.
Second made by Councilman Finley. City Clerk?
Finley.
Yes.
Lisi.
Yes.
Cumberland.
Yes.
Clark.
Yes.
Moore.
Yes.
Mayor.
Yes. The next regularly scheduled meeting of the City Council will be held on Tuesday, August 6, 2024 at 6 p.m. in the council chambers located at City Hall. And now we're going to turn it back over to the city manager for the city manager's report.
Thank you, Mayor. I wanted to start with the MDOT projects. Met with the MDOT representative today and received an update on that project. Currently, the closed ramp was a little more difficult for them to get everything removed with the rebar and everything else that was in the in that concrete. So, but they were able to get that finished and demoing that ramp, and then we'll be starting on the road bed and getting that repaved to get that ramp open. Also, the shoulder work and new lane, more or less, they're very close to finishing all that off, and once they do, that will actually eliminate the problem that the resident was having, as you will be coming off the ramps onto the interstate directly without having to worry about getting over. So the two lanes will shift over here. He anticipates that being within the next few weeks to month, getting that done. They've also have had several meetings with the contractor about the DeLille exit, and they have told them that they must keep at least one lane open on that DeLille exit as long as our off ramp is closed. That keeps happening. They keep trying to close it, and MDOT's kind of had enough of that. So they've really put their foot down on that to make sure that one lane, at least one lane, stays open, and they instead flag people around instead of closing the entire underpass of the on-ramp or of the interstate there. Second one, unfortunately, the Diamond Head sign. T.L. Wallace has informed me that the Diamond Head sign must be removed due to the roundabout project. So Ty and I have had discussions with the original builder of the sign. This is the one in front of the guard shack. And unfortunately, it's been determined that there is no way that it can be removed due to the way it was constructed. It was concrete blocks and then stucco on top of that. So to try to get under it and pick it up or remove it, it's probably all going to fall apart, unfortunately. So we're going to have to remove that sign, and then we'll look at once this project gets closer to finishing, whether there's room to build a new sign or exactly how we're going to make that work. But we'll get back to that once we get closer to the end of the project over there. As well as that, the other two signs, the one down on going towards the airport, as well as the one back on Capilama, are looking a little rough. So we're looking at removing those signs, getting them power washed and repainted and put back up. So if they come up missing, don't get excited. We're just taking them down and going to get them cleaned up and get back put them back up on there. So they'll look good. At least have something up there for now. Moving on to the rest of our projects that we have, the Park 10 Road. Not sure if any of you have been down there. That contract now is for 403 calendar days with an end date of October the 12th. The contractor has started paving, so if any of you've been down there, you've seen that the first layer of paving is done. The getting it in the parking bays and everything, that's the hardest part to that, which they've been able to do, as well as getting into the where the Park 10 and Leisure Time Extension also is. So all that work is being done up to that point. Unfortunately, with the utility poles still being in the way, they cannot continue forward from more or less where the water department is up to the bowling alley. As of right now, they're just stuck until we can get those power poles out of the way. So it's just getting those the vendors off the pole, getting those lines underground, and then being able to get those poles removed. So we're expecting that to be done soon. We thought the cable company would be out there first of last week and did not show. So we're still waiting on them to get their line off that pole. The Bowview 2 project, the notice to proceed was issued for July the 8th. Contract is for 60 days with a current end date of September the 5th. We sent the notice to proceed, and the contractor was supposed to be ordering the materials needed, and once they come in, they would get started on that project. Kaliki Way, the contract's for 120 days with a current end date of August the 6th. I've spoken to the engineer, and they're going to need a few additional days, especially if additional work's going to be done with the change orders that we're looking at. It's nearing completion. The contractor's currently doing the sodding and hydroseeding and the final cleanup in specific areas. But there is a change order coming for the additional sod, unfortunately, it's needed, as well as time that's going to be added to the contract. So we'll have that on the next agenda. And that was the reason why we needed to pull off number 10, is there was some of that already included, which I didn't have a change order for. Bayou Drive, the project's completed and the road is now open. That was final closeout documents will be on your next agenda. That project did go over due to quantities by about $5,000, I want to say, which is kind of just how that kind of works out. I think it was a little bit more in quantity of the driveway and concrete driveway that had to be reinstalled once we removed it. Noma Drive Phase 1B, which is the waterfront revitalization, that project was issued, or that notice to proceed was issued on July the 8th as well. The contract's for 180 days with a current end date of January the 7th. Contractors mobilized some equipment down there, but unfortunately, I guess due to rain, has not been able to get started on that project yet. So expect them to get started here very soon and get moving on that one, which will be great. The Jex Drive lighting, the contractors installed the light fixtures. Hopefully you've all seen those. They will get the wiring completed this week or first of next week, again, depending on this weather and how it affects everything. And then they'll do all the cleanup that needs to be done. I know there's concrete residue on the road that they'll have to clean off there, as well as the concrete left in the grass. All the drainage projects that we have that we bid out are on the agenda tonight for approval. As you can tell, LJ Construction actually came in lowest on all but one of them. Just so happened to be that way. So hopefully we will get with them in the next couple of weeks to get a pre-construction meeting and get everything settled up to get started on those projects. It's going to be a lot of coordinating with the POA as we go across golf courses, as well as for residents. The canal dredging, we had our meeting with MDEQ on the grant agreement and determination of schedule for this project. Everything's in progress and going. The unfortunate thing about it was that due to the low tides over on the Wolf Creek, we're probably not going to be able to start that project until March, April of 2025. that was their final decision on when the scheduling would start. The Noma Drive Boardwalk had our permit meeting with MDEQ last week, and we're just going to start on that part of the project. The engineer starting on the design as well as permitting, which will probably take 3 to 6 months, and then we'll get construction started on that. The Coon Branch met with the engineer last week as well and discussed the modeling in this area. The engineer has several options that we put together. Most of what they want to do affects everything and does a great job. The only one unfortunate area is that I forgot the third. It's the lowest one. Anyway, that area still just does not have a good modeling effect. So we're going to have to still work on figuring out how to deter or detain that water or defer it around to somewhere else. But they're working on that one. The CRS, we have our meeting set for tomorrow on site, where they will review our CRS application as well as the materials that we've put in and determine the points that we have already received and or can receive. Once we've got that number, it's possible we can enter the program right now. If not, we would have to do some more items to get more points to get into the program. Either way, we'll have 30 to 60 days to get those updates to them. Once that happens, we will enter in the program. It will probably not be until spring of next year before we can enter in into the CRS program. The next one is the unfortunate information we received from the warning siren program. MEMA informed us first of last week that the previously approved FEMA project for the hazard mitigation will not continue forward. They have miscalculated and overspent their funds for the declared disaster. So they are not saying that the project is over nor implying that, but it will instead be saved in their files, and once available funding from non-impacted areas can be spent, then they'll pull that one off the shelf and revitalize that program. I don't really know how you send something to FEMA and get it approved and give that information back, but then say there's no funding, but that's the way it's happened for us. So they said that the hazard mitigation, they concentrate on areas where the disaster occurs, and then non-affected areas are allocated if funds are available. So we'll have to just wait and see if any funds become available. There is also, if some of the impacted areas choose not to spend their money or choose not to spend the grant that they have received, then those funds could be reallocated back to us and used for this project. So we'll just have to hold on and wait and see. The Noma Drive dredging, the engineer's waiting on the permits for that project. And then once we get those in place, we can begin to finalize that project and start and get the bid out for that. And that's where, at the end of where we're building this boat ramp, we're dredging out a little small area to allow boats to get in and out in there. So, and then of course the last thing, the dog park, the survey was being finalized and adding signature lines for everybody that needs it, and it's supposed to go on the Board of Supervisors August 5th, I guess, meeting to get approval, and then it will be sent to us. And then the other projects that we have are just no new information on them at this time.
Thank you. Councilman Marr?
No, ma'am.
Councilman Clark?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. The new lighting that's going up, is that going to get painted black or any color? It's just going to be gray? Okay. Okay. The lighting that is on the palm trees further down towards the guard shack on that, are those going to be removed or staying there?
The ones in the ground you're talking about? Yes, they'll be removed.
Okay. Did you get a chance to go on Diamond Head Drive East and look at that one drainage ditch that kind of affects the Coon Branch projects?
I did not. I'm not sure which one you're referencing.
The,
Did I get an email?
what is it, 79260? Byron's?
Oh, yes, okay, I know what you're talking about. Yes, I gave that to Ty to go look at and see what Public Works could do to try to help that issue. Thank you.
And when we start the projects on Hilo, you know, we got Cocoa, Hilo, Maui, Iwa. For that whole circle, can everyone get letters knowing that we're going to be shutting down, you know, sections? Everybody in that whole area, not just the people who 4 houses down that way, 4 houses that way.
Yes, sir, we can do that.
And one last thing, the big signs. Did we ever decide if we're doing the big signs, kind of like the water department does, for a heads up on projects like that?
No, I didn't. We could do that. That would be an excellent idea. We can put a big sign up showing that.
Just kind of like a reminder and just give people a
Right.
heads up. Okay, thank you.
Councilman Cumberland,
No, ma'am.
Councilman Finley, Councilwoman Lisi.
Thank you. John, just one question. It turns out there's not room to go back with some Diamond Head signage kind of further back from where the original one was. Can we see if there's any possibility of putting something in the middle of that third roundabout by Burger King and Alfonso?
If the sign can't go back.
If it can't go back kind of a little further back from where it was, I'm
There-
just
there-
wondering if that's an option.
It's possible. It would depend on the height of it because, of course, MDOT does not allow for obstruction of view for
Right. So
persons in their
maybe-
cars. But I
I'm
would
just
have
trying
to see what the height
think of
limit
some
is.
way to, go back with some kind of something
Right.
attractive and welcoming there. But just a thought, if there's not anywhere else to put one,
Right.
maybe we could try to fit one in that still met their regulations. And
Or
that's
an
all I have.
electric
Thank you.
sign.
All right.
Okay, and I'm assuming the 2 palm trees that are leaning over are going, if the sign's going, all of that's going, okay. And a new sign is gonna be, I remember when they built that one, you cannot move it. I watched them build it. No, that is not one you can move. So I'm very disappointed on the HMGP grant funds on the siren. So when a storm's declared in the state, a certain percentage of the funds are put aside into an account called HMGP. Any city in the state can pull off of that declared storm, whether it's in your city or not in your city, and you use this to mitigate, to improve something that normally causes damage in a storm event so that it prevents further damage. And ours was to get the sirens here for tornadoes so that we would have it. And we've been working on this for 3 years, so this is very disappointing, but as long as they keep it in the queue, I guess that's okay. So I had a few things. Appropriation of funds that we have, and that's coming up. Friends of the Animal Shelter, we had mentioned to you to get with them. Can you reach out to Friends of the Animal Shelter? Because I don't think that the Hancock County shelter can hand out vouchers. I think it's gonna,
Yes. I spoke with the director of the animal shelter this morning, and he did say, yes, they do give out vouchers.
okay, so we need to see, because now that we don't have the SPCA, it's gonna cost many, many times more that if we don't get these animals fixed that are running around. We
Right.
have got to be able to give vouchers out to people so
Right.
that we can get this corrected.
The only difference in with both of them, for that matter, they, of course, would go to the entire county and could be used by anybody, but it would be allowed, if we do give money to them, it would, it could still be used for that purpose, but it doesn't stay just in Diamond Head, unlike the SPCA did.
Right.
Which is unfortunate for the.
Very
that we've lost that,
unfortunate, because
organization.
it's very critical that we get this done, or else it's gonna cost so much more than that. Next question I had, well, no, this is a comment. There's 2 large potholes at the intersection of Diamond Head Drive East and Ahi Street. Can we work on getting those 2 fixed?
I had that come in this morning, too.
Okay.
I already gave that to Public Works.
Thank you. Traffic sign at the intersection of Anahula Street and Golf Club is covered by tree limbs. You can't see it. It's the one that has speed limit 20 unless otherwise stated, slow children sign. The guardhouse.
What intersection?
Anahula and Golf Club.
Bless you.
God bless you. Water at the guardhouse. We've been over this many times, but the grass in the median, we used to have landscaping all down Jex Drive. We had an irrigation system, and then the meter got pulled from in front of the guardhouse, and so there's been no water.
That's correct.
We've been-
As soon as the lights are done, Public Works is coming in there to fix the irrigation and put all that back.
Okay, so we're gonna get a new water service put in,
Yes, if we.
and
can
you're
just-
getting it put behind the guardhouse so that,
Wherever it can go, or wherever's needed.
so that MDOT doesn't
That's right, yeah. it's
tear it
gotta
out,
be-
because
yeah.
it was right where MDOT would be
That's
digging. It
correct.
was right in front of the sign. Good deal, okay. Drainage projects. And I know we're gonna talk about Kaliki Way with Beth and Bob in a minute about the ditch. But on some of the projects and some of the drainage plans, we're seeing that where either subsurface or ditches were shown on property lines and the ditch was split by the residents, or the subsurface drainage was split between two residents, like 10 and 10, it's now being put all on one person's property instead of split. And it's happened in a few areas. Are we doing change directives or change orders? How are these happening?
Was in the change order number 1 for Kaliki.
Okay, can I get a copy of that one? Because I don't think I ever got change order number 1, the revised drawings.
You guys, okay.
I know we did it, but the drawings weren't ready when we did it.
I'll consider it.
All right, thank you, because I had a few questions about that. And I wanted to say that the new light poles in Jex Drive are beautiful. I love them and can't wait to see the flags hanging on them. They look good. I do wish they were a little bit over toward in the middle, because they're they make you pay attention. They're kind of on the side, but they look great. And Bayou Drive turned out phenomenal. Looks good. And that is all I have. If we're going to talk about Kaliki Way, Beth and Bob, and I think we are, because that was a question I had, did we go visit that and look at that ditch? All right, if there's no other questions, we're going to move on to public comments. And we're going to start with Tim Willis.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Some of y'all know me, some of you don't know me. My name is Tim Willis. I'm a resident here in Diamond Head. I am the Scoutmaster for Troop 210. Tonight I'm also joined by our Cubmaster, Rodney Nikes, and the Pineborough Area Council Spanish Trail District Executive, Abby Nikes. And we are here tonight because the facilities that we have been using for the last 20-some-odd years, we received a formal letter this past Friday telling us that we were no longer allowed to use those facilities. And we have, for the last year, we've been reaching out to every organization within Diamond Head that would have facilities enough to handle basically the pack. Our troop is about 18 kids, but our pack, especially once the new school year starts, it'll get up to around 90 to 100 kids. The year before COVID, we had 125 kids signed up. And so when you take 125 kids with their parents and their siblings and whatnot, it's a fairly large place that we need. Now, some of you may not be aware of what scouting is, but I'm just going to be real quick with this, all right? The Cub Scout program serves kindergarten through 5th grade, and the Scout BSA serves 6th grade through high school. And we provide for both boys and girls, right? So it's all children. I don't have to tell, I had a conversation this past Sunday with my preacher down in Bay St. Louis, and she was commenting on the fact that a lot of communities in our county have spent a lot of considerable effort to do things to improve bringing more bars, more restaurants, more things for adult entertainment, which is not a bad thing, right? Because we need that revenue. But there's been very few things done for the youth. And in our city, Diamond Head has done an exceptional job of providing for us specifically, right? We do flag ceremonies for the city. We help out on Arbor Day planting trees and whatnot. We've had several Eagle Scout projects. Matter of fact, one of my scouts came and addressed this council just, what was the last council session?
That's correct.
About doing work at, was it Maliki Park?
Mahalahooli
Mahalahoot, sorry. But I mean, we are continually doing things for the community, right? And Scouting is one of the few youth organizations out there that's not only teaching children how to be good people, we are teaching children how to be good patriots and good citizens of this country. And I don't have to tell the group of people in this room how important it is that we raise the next generation to love this country. And that's what we do. Just a little bit about me. I earned my Eagle in 1990. I'm a U.S. Navy veteran, and I'm a lifelong member of the VFW Post 2880 here in Diamond Head. And we are committed to making success of our children. The problem we have now is we don't have anywhere to meet.
So, Mr. Willis, you don't have any room for the scouts to meet, and you need a room as big as this council chambers to have your PAC meetings. Is that once a month?
Our PAC meetings are every Monday night, and
Oh,
it starts when the
okay.
school year starts. And now that's what it's been for years. It can be moved around if we had to, but we've been meeting at the same time, 6 o'clock Monday night for the last 20 years.
So, legal city manager, do we see a problem with working with the scouts?
We'll have to take a look at the
Okay.
activity center. I don't know that that's big enough, so we'll have to take a look. We typically with this, I don't know that we have rules for this part of City Hall other than
The POA's in here on
just
Monday night.
just the POA and water and sewer districts. So we'll have to look at what the rules are. But yeah, I'd recommend get with the city manager.
Okay.
All right.
So, Mr. Willis, get with the city manager and let's see what we can do. When are y'all out of a place to use?
Last Friday.
Oh, so you're homeless as we speak.
The troop, honestly, I'm making the troop work at my house because we're only at like 18 to 20 scouts. But in the school year, when the school year starts, that's when we're going to need it. Right now, the PAC isn't meeting, so we got about 3 or 4 weeks or so, something like that.
You have 2 weeks.
And then, but once school starts, we're going to need a place to put that many people because, to be quite honest, if this facility isn't for us, we're going to have to go outside the city, and I would rather keep it here in Diamond Head, me personally.
You're call the Diamond Head Troop. We do want to keep you in Diamond
I mean,
Head.
we just got a new flag for the troop that we had at summer camp, and it says Diamond Head, Mississippi on it, right? I mean, look, Diamond Head, Mississippi. We're very proud of being part of this community.
Well, thank you, and thank you for what all you have done. You've done a lot of projects, especially the Eagle Scouts, but all of y'all working together. Thank you for your commitment and hard work. We
You're welcome.
appreciate all of you.
And thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Where were you meeting?
We were meeting at the Diamond Head Methodist Church.
Thank you.
Any other questions? All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Tim.
Next, we have Bob or Robert.
Thank you for letting me speak. Most of you have come out to the house and have seen the condition my yard is in. I came home and noticed that the tree now has been taken down. However, it's in my yard. So I was hoping, I have 2 questions. One, does anybody know when it will be picked up? And secondly, could it have been placed somewhere else to mitigate more damage in my yard?
Okay, those are 2 good questions that I don't have answers to. City manager, do you know why the tree was dropped in his yard? Or is that an engineer question?
It was, the tree was cut down as it was, when we cleared the ditch, it exposed the roots, and so it was removed.
That pond tree did look very ill. Okay, so when is that gonna be removed from his yard? Okay. What did we decide?
When
Did
the
we all,
contractor's working on it,
what did we decide on the ditch that's been located in his yard?
there's a change order coming to the council to review and determine if you choose to make it or approve it.
And the change order is to pipe the ditch?
That's what it would be, yes.
Okay, and that'll be on the next agenda?
That's correct.
Okay, that's
Okay.
where we are.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next, we have Rosa. You are very welcome. So, okay, so all of that being said, City Manager Rosa wants you to call MDOT about and I've had a few people mention that, the traffic control leaving Diamond Head. Next, we have Jerry.
Good evening to everybody. I'm Jerry Gilbert. My wife and I, Barbara, live at 7439 Aiki Drive. And we've been here in Diamond Head for almost 22 and a half years, and at Aiki for 21 and a half years. And our home is being involved in the Kaliki, Amoka, Aiki drainage work. And it's been going on at our house for nearly a month. And the only communication that we have received has been through the mail, which told us that we either had to, we had to provide an easement for the property, which we did. But that was the only communication that we've had as to what's going on, and us going and talking to the people who work there. We're trying to get an idea as to how long this is going to take and what else will happen to the property. We have never had proper communication from the city telling us exactly what is going to happen. We've got a survey, but a piece of paper doesn't tell you what's going to happen to your property. And there's one side of the property which we kept wooded, which is now sand, basically, or half of what we had left is sand, for 2 culverts that have to take into account for the reworking of the drainage. And problems that I consider being here as long as I have, that the drainage issue has to do with the building issue. We've never done any strategic planning in this community, as far as I can see, to take into account what the new building will have effect on what the drainage is in this city. And that is where we are today. You have different, we're talking about, I don't have the different locations throughout this city that we have here that are having problems. And anyway, I really I feel like the property that we have has been devalued because of what is done. And it's going to take more than the little bit of money that was paid for this easement, which was nominal compared to revitalizing the property. It's going to cost quite a bit more money. But there should have been, and they should still be if there's some future work, that the city ought to have a meeting for the affected property owners and tell them what is going to happen to their property, and let there be some, just like we're doing right now, questions and answers to find out so that they can have an expectation, and also to know what the time frame is. Contractors have schedules. We ought to have a schedule, and it ought to be shared with the property owners to know. I can't tell you when they're going to finish. They can't even tell me when they're going to finish, but somebody has a schedule that should be shared. And then after the property is completed and they're done, I hope that Aiki Drive will be resurfaced, because those heavy trucks have done a job on that entire street. So anyway, thank you very much for your time. I appreciate it.
Thank you, and thank you for your service.
Okay. Oh, you're quite welcome.
Thank
All right.
you.
All right. Thank you.
So, City Manager, on that note, so Aiki Drive is on Phase 5 with Bayou Drive and a few others, and Kaliki. And I believe the engineer has cost in there for soil boring test, because it is in certain areas, after it was paved, it already showed that where it was settling. The base needs to be investigated seriously. We heard the city manager say earlier that the Kaliki project, the engineer is going to be doing a change order for additional work, hopefully subsurface drainage in a ditch, and then also additional side and time. So the substantial completion date is going to be extended, but we won't know till the next meeting agenda. Is that fair? Okay, and both that's fair. But we have your number here. John, would you mind reaching out tomorrow to Mr.
We've
Gilbert?
emailed back and forth
Okay,
already.
We've emailed,
okay,
so just to be fair,
okay.
I'm getting some, communication. But I think that there are other property owners that have not had work done at their homes yet. They should know, I mean, really, I think it's important to have a meeting, for them, to let them know what's going on, and let them ask questions.
All right.
It's important.
Thank you very much, and I agree with that. Thank you very much. Okay, next we have Jan.
I'm Jan Vanita White. I live at 7523 Crooked Stick Drive. I'm talking about the procedural ordinance draft, and I want to congratulate the entire council for getting this far. I think it's really good, and we just have a little tweaking, and I hope that you'll consider my recommendations. First of all, there's an inconsistency throughout the document. The nomenclature, so we have council member, councilman, councilman, his, her, him, he. That's a 5-minute cleanup using word find. I want to primarily discuss a couple of sections here. On page 5. Page 5, section 1-17, manner of addressing council, go down to area B. So it looks like if there is someone who's already given their opinion, as I'm up here at the podium, if someone else has a similar comment, they should just say, I concur with Betty or Joe or whoever. I don't see how that's enforceable. So please consider removing it. And over on section B, by other persons, down here at number 4, I think it's a great idea to make suggestions to go about using other routes if you can't come to the council meeting. But this paragraph, in my opinion, is coming across as a closed door policy. So I think it needs a little bit of tweaking on the wording. Go down to 1-19 decorum. It seems like if you compare this statement against 1-18A on the previous page, that the council members have no consequences for bad behavior, but the citizens do. So I would like to see, that seems to me to be punitive. I would like to see, and a power disparity. So I would like to see the council members and the citizens having the same rights and the same type of open communication. And I would like it to not be punitive. Thank you for your time, and I hope you take these comments and refinements under consideration. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Moving on. Could I motion to approve the July 2nd, 2024 recessed meeting minutes? Motion made by Councilman Finley. Could I get a second?
Second.
Second made by Councilman Clark. City Clerk.
Finley,
Yes.
Lisi,
Yes.
Cumberland,
Yes.
Clark,
Yes.
Lamar,
Abstain.
Mayor.
Yes. Could I get a motion to approve the July 2nd, 2024 regular meeting minutes?
Move.
Motion made by Councilman Finley. Could I get a second?
Second.
Second made by Councilman Clark. City Clerk.
Finley,
Yes.
Lacy,
Yes.
Cumberland,
Yes.
Clark,
Yes.
Marr,
Abstain.
Mayor.
Yes. Ordinance 2024-188, motion to adopt text amendment to the procedural ordinance 2019-003.2. Can I get a motion to adopt?
Move.
Motion made by Councilman Finley. Could I get a second?
Second.
Second made by Councilman Marr. Now we're open for discussion. Councilman Finley, any comments?
No.
Councilman Marr, any comments?
While it's not everything I wanted, I will say it's good for now, and I'll revisit this back in a few months.
Okay, Councilman Clark?
No, ma'am.
Councilman Cumberland?
No.
Councilwoman Lisi?
No.
I'm gonna have to agree. Everything that Dr. White got up and mentioned, I already had circled because I have serious concerns with them. So, looking at what my concerns are. Starting on page 15, it says, under the agenda, it's got reports of standing and special committees, but yet we have deleted on this sections 241, 242, 244, which was standing committee, committee meetings, and reports of committees. So they're no longer there. So why do we keep this on the agenda?
We have the ability to have committees, we just don't have any rules regulating committees within this procedural ordinance. There were some inconsistencies, I thought, with state law on that, so that's the reason. There's nothing barring you all from having committees and setting forth how you want them to run as long as it's consistent with state law.
And that's why it was removed and just says conforms with state law.
That's it, just to
blah,
make sure
blah.
we were consistent. I just felt like the state law governs it, we don't need to readdress it.
Okay. And then under section 1-7, page 17, where it says, speakers may not give or donate or yield their time to another person in the event there are numerous public comments on a single issue before the council. Persons address the council will duplicate comments, should refrain from repeating other comments, and upon stating their name and address, and simply state that they support or agree with the comments of the person who was previously addressed at the council. I think everybody should, even if it's the same thing, we should sit here and listen. It doesn't matter to me. I mean, if you have 3 minutes, it's your right. By golly, if you got out your house and came here for 3 minutes, I'm gonna listen to whatever it is you have to say. Yield in time, there are some people that get panicky and nervous addressing public comments. And if they yield their time, they're giving someone their paper to read and they want it read. They don't want to just hand it to somebody or submit it. So I liked when we had donating time and people got together and worked together on an issue. It showed community involvement. And I feel like if the same people get up and say the same thing, we're supposed to sit here and listen. So I'm not in favor of that. On page 18, number 3, planning and zoning items. If there's a planning and zoning item on the agenda which had a public hearing as part of the process, with the Planning and Zoning Commission, the presiding officer will not ask for public comments, as the opportunity to do so was made available at the public hearing with the Planning Commission. Many people work, they're limited on their time. It's on the city's agenda, so I feel you should, if you couldn't make it to the Planning Commission and you can make it to the council, that's your last opportunity to discuss something that you may not disagree with. So I feel that should not be removed. Public comments should be allowed for that.
Mayor, could I just address that
Yes,
one point?
please.
Because I do agree with you to an extent.
Okay.
I think we could reword it that you are
Okay.
allowed to make public comments. but there should be no introduction of new evidence, because, and the reason is kind of procedural.
Oh, okay.
When we have that planning and zoning hearing, that's where they take all the evidence, they make the findings, they make that recommendation. That's what you all should be basing your decision on. Now, other cities do it where they limit any public comments. That's kind of where that came from. I tend to agree with you. People can speak and say, hey, I know planning and zoning said they want this, but I just want you to know, Mayor, I don't, or council, I don't. But in terms of the introduction of new evidence, I think that's where we should limit it. So I would agree with the mayor that what we could do is just take that out and just say that there shall be no introduction of any new evidence at the council meeting.
Okay, then public comment periods are opportunities for the council members and the administration in Diamond Head to hear from residents. However, there are multiple other opportunities afforded to residents, including social media. I've been off of Facebook for 3 weeks, and it's been the happiest 3 weeks of my life, so I don't encourage people to go on Facebook and do public comments.
I did it years ago.
Do not do it. I repeat, very bad. And accounts of city and elected officials on Facebook, which that's a whole nother topic. In-person meetings, council members and city staff, in-person meetings with council members and administration and other forms may be utilized by the residents. During council meeting, council members, city staff will not entertain questions from the public nor engage in discussions with those who seek to make a comment. However, the chair may request the administration to provide a brief factual information or contact information if appropriate. And my thoughts on that is, if you come to the meeting again and you wish to speak, then we need to listen. Even though there are many other methods that are engaged, you're coming here and your voice is important. That's why we sit here, to hear your voice. So I don't agree with that one either. In addition to the limits specified above, the council may vote to set other reasonable viewpoint neutral limits to prevent disruption of council business. And I don't consider that a disruption, but that's just my personal opinion. And I do agree with Dr. Jan White. There is a lot of, and the mayor, if he, and it's all he's, or councilmen instead of, there's different. So if we could work on those. Can we table this till we work on this a little?
Mayor, I wanted to address the council member. I did try to go through and correct everywhere and put council member. I'm not going to say I didn't miss one, but I did try. As far as using the word he, that's typical in any document, is that he is the de facto answer. I'm a female, I understand what you're saying, but de facto, even in, for example, a will, we repeatedly say he means the same as she, because the person is interchangeable from the office. So
Can we table this and clean it up a little bit?
that is completely the council's prerogative. I just wanted to let you know why that's
Okay.
worded that way.
Okay, all right. Okay. So, we got a motion. Can we, who made the motion? I forgot.
Shane.
Shane, would you mind revising your motion to table it so we can work on the few issues of concern? Modify your motion.
Okay, when you say clean up, are you talking about the language part of it? Or
Right,
you
the
want to change
language,
it
and
just
then-
to what you were asking pretty much across the board? When
Well-
you say clean up, do you want it all the things that you brought
The
up?
council members is one thing, reviewing the things that I discussed, whether they can be done or not, changing where you can't talk about a planning and zoning agenda item to whatever legal said we could do.
All right.
Table it to have those items addressed.
I will table it till the next meeting. I will
To amend your motion?
amend my motion to table this until the next meeting.
Okay, Councilman Moore, I believe you second. Are you okay with the amendment?
Yeah, I will second the tabling.
City Clerk?
Finley,
Yes.
Lacy,
Yes.
Cumberland,
Yes.
Clark,
Yes.
Mar,
Yes.
Mayor.
Yes. Could I get a motion to approve consent agenda items 7 through 9? Oh, excuse me, we do have a resolution. Resolution 2024-187, motion to adopt Resolution 2024-0032, thereby abandoning a 5-foot drainage utility easement on each side of the common property line between lots 81 and 82 Glen Eagle. The parcel number is 067N-1-35-040.000. The physical street address is 7513 Crooked Stick Drive. Motion?
Move.
Motion made by Councilman Finley, second.
Second.
Second made by Councilman Marr. Any discussion, Councilman Finley?
No, ma'am.
Any discussion, Councilman Marr?
No, ma'am.
Councilman Clark?
No, ma'am.
Councilman Cumberland?
No, ma'am.
Councilmember Lisi?
No.
Okay, City Clerk?
Finley,
Yes.
Lacy,
Yes.
Cumberland,
Yes.
Clark,
Yes.
Mar,
Yes.
Mayor.
Yes. Motion to approve consent agenda items 6 through 9 and 11 through 18. Motion, please.
Move.
Motion made by Councilman Clark, second.
Second.
Second made by Councilman Marr. City Clerk?
Finley,
Yes.
Lacy,
Yes.
Cumberland,
Yes.
Clark,
Yes.
Mar,
Yes.
Mayor.
Yes. Motion to approve docket of claims DKT 231936, DKT 231976 in the amount of $1,185,402.94. Motion?
Move.
Motion made by Councilman Cumberland, second.
Second.
Second made by Councilman Finley. City Clerk?
Finley,
Yes.
Lacy,
Yes.
Cumberland,
Yes.
Clark,
Yes.
Mar,
Yes.
Mayor.
Yes. Could I get a motion to approve department reports A?
Move.
Motion made by Councilman Cumberland. Could I get a second?
Second.
Second made by Councilman Clark. City Clerk?
Finley,
Yes.
Lacy,
Yes.
Cumberland,
Yes.
Clark,
Yes.
Mar,
Yes.
Mayor.
Yes. We've already done public comments. Any closing comments? Councilman Marr?
No, no comment.
Councilman Finley? Councilmember Lisi?
No.
Councilman Cumberland?
No, ma'am.
Councilman Clark?
No, ma'am.
Oh, I have one comment. I just want to say vocally in this meeting for those watching that we now have the ability to text you with important city news. And so go to the Diamond Head website and you'll find out how to sign up for it.
Thank you, Councilman Marr. Any need for executive session?
No,
None
ma'am.
at all. Could I get a motion to recess until 7/23/2024 at 5:30 p.m.?
Move.
Motion made by Councilman Clark. Could I get a second?
Second.
Second made by Councilman Marr. City Clerk?
Finley, Lacy,
Yes.
Cumberland,
Yes.
Clark,
Yes.
Mar,
Yes.